Keeping Children Safe in Education 2019 is the updated statutory guidance that sets out the obligations around safeguarding and safer recruitment.
It's a requirement that all staff who work with children, such as in the education sector, read the Keeping Children Safe in Education document. Whilst the document states that all staff must read Part 1, we firmly believe that all staff plus governors should read the whole document to gain the wider understanding of safeguarding and maintain an appropriate level of vigilance.
The 2018 updates of Keeping Children Safe in Education provided clarity for the expectations and the collection of evidence, and also introduced the peer-on-peer section. This year we have fewer changes, but they do reflect the new developments and the procedural changes.
In addition to the document is upskirting. This has gained a lot of media attention over the last year. It's now a criminal act and is referenced in paragraph 27 in relation to peer-on-peer abuse. But remember, this is not isolated to pupils, and staff can be a victim of this type of harassment too. Upskirting is also referenced at Annex A.
Serious violent crime in itself is not new, but the statistics are continually rising each year, especially in relation to knife crime. There is growing concern about children's involvement in criminal activity. Paragraphs 28 and 29 have been added to this year's updates of Keeping Children Safe, highlighting the need for staff to be vigilant and to look for the signs which could indicate a child is at risk. We at One Education have been involved in raising the awareness of county lines and also working closely with ex-gang members who talk open and honestly to schools and help them address the concerns they have about their children and young people.
Part 3 of the document refers to safer recruitment, which obviously is quite detailed and important. Further clarity this year has been provided with regards to overseas checks, and also with regards to Regulation 128, prohibition checks for governors, in that the checks are not just for governors in a management position, but those where they hold office of being a governor in a maintained school. In addition to that, paragraph 174 confirms that you are not required to carry out an enhanced DBS check on associate members of the maintained governing bodies.
The guidance has removed all references to the Safeguarding Children boards. These have been removed and have now been replaced by Safeguarding Partners. The Safeguarding Partners are a team of professionals from 3 sectors: the local authority, the clinical commissioning groups and the Chief Officer of Police. There are references in Annex C that staff need to be aware of, particularly the teaching of online safety in schools, and similarly the teaching of sex and relationships, which will be mandatory in September 2020.
So what are the practical steps that you can be taking on board? Make sure you read and become familiar with the latest Keeping Children Safe guidance. Make sure all the staff have read the guidance and signed to say they have read and understood it, possibly considering whether they should read the whole guidance. Check that DSLs have completed their 2-year training. Review your single central record. Is it compliant? Review your policies in line with these updates. Ensure safeguarding is a priority for staff and governing bodies. Keep an agenda throughout the year. Check and review your processes and procedures. Do they work as well as you think? Ensure that all staff are suitably trained. Consider whether online training is enough. Are you confident in your school practices that your students are safeguarded in the best possible way? Ensure you have a whole school culture on safeguarding, and remember it could happen anywhere.
This means appropriate training for all staff so that you can feel confident that they know how to put into practice their learning and that it is not just an online tick box exercise. You also need to ensure that your staff, particularly your DSLs, are receiving appropriate support such as professional supervision in their demanding roles.
Ensure you have whole school culture on safeguarding, and remember, it could happen anywhere.
Safeguarding is a priority for us all. Speaking to schools and academies every day, we hear your concerns. You want to know how processes work. What are the impacts of GDPR? What's the responsiveness of others? Have we done everything to manage allegations against staff? We hear your questions.
We at One Education can support you in many ways. Listen to the video again to ensure you've understood the changes and the practical steps that we've given you. Contact us for safe recruitment training, safeguarding training, or maybe a single central record audit, and to attend our annual safeguarding conference on the 7th of February, where we have a number of workshops with specialist speakers.